And I think it's actually very healthy, right? Because I've been thinking about this a lot lately, actually. I've been taking a little bit of like inventory of the best people I've worked with on this journey and some of the folks I've had the most challenges with. And if I had to boil it down to one thing, it's ego. The politest way to describe it is they're not growing interpersonally in the way that would be the best, especially if you're in a leadership position. I personally have very high interpersonal expectations of anybody who's a leader inside of Olipop. And that work is difficult, and oftentimes you've got to struggle with parts of yourself that kind of make you feel weak. And if you're already feeling a little insecure or you're feeling like you're over your skis, that can be hard to deal with. Now, I think the folks that are in the long run kind of the best folks to be around and to partner with, you got to do the hard work. You got to kind of admit when you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling overwhelmed. You've got to deal with some of that stuff because I think in the long run, it makes you a lot stronger and a lot healthier. Where some people just develop this like emotional stuntedness because they can't let go of the life raft of ego. And I think it's like the single most important factor for leadership and certainly for people who are going to grow and develop wisdom, and then people who are going to get stuck and are going to do some pretty gnarly things to preserve their egos. And one of the things that I've always sought to do is be like almost articulate as like I'm a servant to the mission and what we are doing, and the mission of what we are doing, the impact of what we're doing is a lot more important than me as a person. It's not that I'm unimportant. It's just that the ability to go affect, you know, tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people or whatever the final version of this looks like, that's like really important. And so it allows me to kind of constantly recalibrate my compass to help to always focus on like what is really the important part of this decision. Why do we need to do the extra work right now versus take the shortcut? Why am I hiring this person over that person? And, you know, by the way, being a founder CEO in an environment like this, in a growth path like this, it comes with its own challenges. I see a lot of, you know, peers who have had successful businesses. There's a lot of common trend. One is people micromanage stuff because they're control freaks. So you got to not do that, because when I interview people, there's nothing I hear that people hate more than being micromanaged. It's like this thing that happens all the time. People hate it. I would hate it. I don't want to be that kind of leader or whatever. But the other thing that happens to you really quickly is you hit these relevancy checkpoints. You know, like I think about it right now, the average manager in Olipop knows more about their area of expertise than I do as the CEO. And if you start to thrash around because you are feeling insecure about your relevancy, you do a lot of damage. And so the where I focused instead is saying, okay, like, well, what are the things that uniquely I can provide as the co-founder, as the formulator and like head of innovation, as the person holding the vision? What are the things that I can uniquely provide? And then what do I need to invest in that I can still probably do a good job of? And like, okay, I'm not going to be able to pull together the world's most elegant multi-layered commercial plan with all the different levers. I do need to be a good people leader, right? I need to be good at developing folks and inspiring folks. And again, figuring out what's important, but doing it in a way that makes it so that people aren't afraid to challenge me, because they have to be willing to challenge me, or you get bad data and you don't get people delivering their best work. And so by investing in the places where I think I still have maximal utility, and like letting go of the places that I don't, I think I actually maintain relevance. But like, it doesn't mean it's not an ongoing, regularly reassessing process.